Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And welcome to DC TV Recap, the place where we talk about all the DC TV shows. And today we're going to be making a lot of Arrow predictions. That's right, about that guy on her shirt. Not this show. We don't do videos about this show. We just watch and enjoy this show. Something else that we also watch and enjoy, Jupiter Jet, our comic book. That's right, this is our 5-issue miniseries published by Action Lab Comics. It is now out in graphic novel format. You can read all 5 issues. It's available on Amazon.com. There's a link down in the description. It's a 16-year-old girl meets the Rocketeer, and it's a lot of fun. It's like the best Pixar movie you've never seen about punching robots. That's right. And jumping on blimps. So if you would, go over to Amazon, check it out if you want some comic book goodness, if you like any of our thoughts on these videos. Also, if you're over there, if you checked it out, and you are a Kickstarter donator, however you've gotten Jupiter Jet, go over to Amazon.com, leave us a review, because it helps the book get found out by more comic book fans just like you. Also, in another bit of news that we've announced at many other videos, but for some reason people just aren't getting it, we're not doing Supergirl reviews, we're not doing Supergirl reviews, we're not doing Supergirl reviews anymore. Haha. Okay, moving on. I mean, we've already talked about it in video. We talked about it in last week's DC TV.
I know.
But this week was full of, like, where are your Supergirl reviews? And I'm like, okay, you guess you don't watch DC TV Recap. You guys that watch DC TV Recap, you're the chosen ones. Okay, we're talking about Arrow Season 6.
Season 6?
Arrow Season 7.
Season 7.
I'd like to redo Season 6. Can you tell?
Season 6 is fine.
Let's talk about Arrow Season 7. Let's talk about some predictions here. Let's talk about what we want for the season. Because I don't know about you, I thought the beginning of Arrow Season 6 was really stellar, and then I think it just fell apart. And when it focused on Black Siren and Richard Dragon, however you want to call him, just wasn't as good of a villain as Caden James. And I never thought I would end the season saying that. So, Ashley, they did not kill Richard Diaz.
No.
He's still around.
Yeah.
What do we think is coming in Arrow Season 7 with terms of villain-wise? Do you think we're going to get the fabled Longbow Hunters from the comic books, which if you don't know, so the Longbow Hunters, by the way, are this, it's a storyline by Mike Grell. It's about where Green Arrow becomes a vigilante. He starts killing somebody. He starts killing crooks, basically. That's what Arrow Season 1 did. The New 52 kind of took that term and made it a new group. And that group was made up of Richard Dragon, Vertigo, Killer Moth, Brick, who we've seen on the show before, and then Red Dart, who is this old school Green Arrow villain who a new woman stole all of his equipment. So those are the Longbow Hunters in the New 52, the newer section of comics. Now, they have been mentioned. They've got mentioned in Arrow Season 6. Ashley, do you think we're going with the Longbow Hunters? Do you think we're going to get Richard Dragon again, or are we getting somebody brand new?
I think we are probably getting Longbow Hunters as the season-long villain. I'm not sure if Richard Dragon will be a part of that the whole time. The character that I actually think might be like a first arc villain or a minor villain would be Cheshire, because we know that Roy Harper is coming back to the show.
As a full-time cast member.
As a full-time cast member in a more meaningful capacity. One of the things that we didn't do with Roy when he was previously Arsenal's was he didn't build out a rogues gallery of his own. Cheshire's is his most well-known, I guess, direct villain who's
Villain/lover?
Yeah. Who's not attached to either the Teen Titans or Green Arrow. And it would be cool to get another villainess in there. Arrow is kind of mixed on their female villains. And I think that would be a way to kind of graduate him to a new level. If it's not Cheshire, then I don't know what else you do with Roy, except be like, well, I guess you can go stand over there with Renee. And,
I still think he's going to pick up the slack while Oliver is in prison.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, that is my prediction.
What do you think about the Longbow Hunters?
I don't want the Longbow Hunters.
No?
I don't. I really don't. I don't. You
think they might have just lifted the name?
I hope so. I really hope so. I hope the Longbow Hunters are something completely different, because I just don't want this group made up of other people we've basically seen in previous episodes. I don't want the less cool Legion of Doom to be our villains of Arrow Season 7. I don't want another group of villains, because Season 6 proved group of villains in Arrow does not work. Works on Legends, doesn't work on... we started Arrow Season 6 where it was Anatoly, it was Diaz, it was Black Siren, Caden James, and Vigilante all together. It was not very interesting.
Yeah.
Because they've sadly killed them all off very quickly. till it came down to one person, basically, except for Black Siren.
Yeah, they should have killed off Black Siren. It would have been a better season.
I think we're getting somebody new.
Yeah?
I think we will see the Longbow Hunters. I think we will see Diaz, maybe in like a 2 or 3 episode arc. But I think that's going to be the maximum. I don't think they're the season-long villain. I think they'll be tied to the season-long villain. I do think we are getting our first villainess.
Interesting.
For Arrow. Now, who that is exactly, I don't know. There's a strong possibility it could be Lady Shiva, who has been mentioned all around. There's a possibility they could take Red Dart and make her a bigger villain.
That'd be great.
Because she is like a classic old school kind of Silver Age Green Arrow villain, and you could update her and make her cool. And then if you tied her into the Longbow Hunters, then it becomes the season-long arc.
Yeah.
Like if she starts off by herself, and then she joins in with the rest of them. Like, Diaz like, come join us, yeah.
Or maybe she takes out the Longbow Hunters and she's like, well, I took them out, so I'm clearly
something
the biggest
like that.
threat.
Yeah, so, like, I think that maybe that's where they're going with it. There is also there's another possibility out here. There's a possibility that somehow we get the Sister of Shadow somehow again and go an evil, which I think would make it for a great season.
I mean, Lady Shiva could be Shadow's sister.
Sure.
So
we don't know.
So could Cassandra Cain.
There is also another character out there in Arrow lore that is pretty prominent in Green Arrow comic books right now, and I would be blown away if they never do anything with her.
Who's
and
that?
That is Emiko.
Oh, yeah.
Oliver Queen's half-sister. Now, in the comic books, Robert Queen and Shadow got together, and they had a daughter. This makes Oliver Queen's half-sister. Now, whether they would make her a half-sister through Robert, or whether they would connect her to Oliver some other way, it would be interesting. There's a chance you could just take the name Emiko.
Yeah.
She could be Lady Shiva. She could be Red Dart. You could grow her up a little bit. You don't have to make her a kid like she's in the comic books.
Well, and in the comics, like, we've seen some teenage versions of her, and she kind of waffles between being a good guy and being a bad guy, so that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, also think about if we are introduced to Emiko, the half-daughter of Robert Queen and Shadow, or you make it the half-daughter of Robert Queen and somebody else, it's kind of a perfect replacement for Thea.
Exactly.
Who just left the show.
They'll probably make her Talia's daughter.
Or, that's a good, or Nissa's.
Or Nissa's daughter,
Or Nissa's daughter. There you go. I mean, I just think she's such a prominent Green Arrow character.
She's a great character.
And she's in all the Green Arrow comic books right now that I think I'd be blown away, because I do think Arrow, weirdly enough, you know, sometimes when you watch a television show, you sort of get a vibe from it. And right now I'm really getting the vibe from Arrow that it's going to be a female character. I think it's going to be a female villain. I'm just getting that jive. And I also think that Arrow just needs a dose of better women.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I think they need that good...
I agree.
3 cc's of better women.
Better estrogen.
You know, give me the woman shot, Arrow. You know, whatever you want to talk about it. So that's where I'm going to go with it. Ashley, there's something else I want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about the villain quite a bit. What's going to happen with Diggle?
I don't know.
What is going to happen with Diggle? Diggle is not with Team Arrow. He's with Argus.
Oh, that's right.
What do you think's happening with Diggle in season 6?
I mean, I give him like 5 episodes.
I keep talking about season 6.
I give him like 5 episodes before he's back on Team Arrow.
I think he dresses up as the Green Arrow this season again.
I think he's done it every season.
I think we get double Green Arrows. I'm telling you, I called it in the reviews, and everybody you said I was crazy. Everybody on the freaking YouTube comments called me crazy. Thanks for that. I think we definitely get it. For at least one episode, they will both be dressed up as Green Arrow, and they will both be fighting somebody.
I really wouldn't mind if Diggle turned into an Amanda Waller figure, and if he inherited the recruits.
Okay.
And he sort of acted maybe as like their leader.
I'd be fine if the recruits just went away.
They won't.
No,
so
they
that
won't.
It just pairs down to like Oliver and Roy and Felicity again. I don't know what they're going to do with Diggle, because he's a dangling participle that I don't understand.
He's a dangling Diggle.
I don't understand.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know why. I don't know to what purpose.
We keep sending him off, because if you remember...
And then he comes back 5 episodes later.
Exactly. Season 4, we sent him off to the army. He went to prison. We had to bring him back.
Break him out,
Season 6, we sent him off to Argus. He's just going to come back. He's just going to come back.
Yeah, so I really, truly, I don't know. But whatever they do, I hope it's cool.
Yeah.
Because Diggle's a great character. He's so great they brought him over into the comics. David Ramsey deserves better. And I hope that if he does have to be away from Team Arrow that he's being a badass.
Cool. All right, so I think we have some fan questions. Ashley, let's get to them.
We do. So Elms91 said, what if Justin Hartley, Green Arrow from Smallville, played a future Green Arrow who is revealed to be William?
Yeah, it's okay.
So if we flashed forward and we saw like all the kids kind of graduate.
That's all right. I mean, This Is Us Arrow?
Yeah. This Is Arrow.
That's okay. I still think you have the best pitch for Justin Hartley. I think he has to be...
Robert Queen from an alternate universe?
No, or young Robert Queen. Like, we flash back to Robert Queen in the 80s, and it's Justin Hartley.
I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if we learn what happens if we flash forward on William, or if we get like a sense of what happens to him.
I think we will.
Before the show ends. Maybe not this season.
I think we will.
But I don't think they introduce him and then leave him out to dry.
I'm putting this out right here. Even if it doesn't happen until the series finale of Arrow, I think Arrow's going to flash forward somewhere. Yeah. I think Arrow will show us Oliver's ending. I really do.
If you're not doing Robert Queen, I don't know what else you do in the flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do flashbacks anymore.
You know, but to me, like the flashbacks and the dueling timelines are such an integral part of Arrow.
Well, we had a whole season where we didn't have it,
and it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird, but I don't know. I'm okay that they're gone, but I think that somewhere, even if it's the final scene of the final episode of Arrow, we'll flash forward and we'll see like Oliver Queen's death.
Old Man Ollie.
Yeah, well, they'll show it to us somehow, because I think if you end this series of Arrow with just like he hops off a rooftop and shoots an arrow, I think it's unsatisfying. But I also understand they got to keep him alive for a crossover. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't think he'll die until the finale episode.
I really want. I honestly think Oliver has to die.
But I don't think the show would continue without him. I really don't.
No,
that's a lot of people. There are hilariously people who are like, Batwoman is obviously a backdoor pilot and she's going to replace Arrow. And I was like, I want to know what world you guys are living in. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
So speaking of crazy things, I don't know if you remember during our award show, but you brought up your love of Quantum Leap.
Oh, boy.
And we had a lot of commenters who were engaged.
Let me tell you, Al.
That.
Ziggy's got some predictions. Only people at a certain age get that joke.
Well, Jennifer McMahon.
You got a 56% chance. Oh, man, if you read this question, there's a 75% chance that you're going to screw up the timeline.
Oh, well, this sounds like they need to hang out with Barry Allen. Jennifer McMahon said, as for Quantum Leap, I would love if one of the currently running time travel-based series, be it Legends of Tomorrow, Doctor Who, not that one on NBC called Timeline.
Timeless.
Anyway, I wish they would figure out a way to rescue Sam Beckett. Because in the finale, it's really sad to watch. And I knew you would love that fan theory, so I had to bring it over to this video.
You know, it is catastrophically bad that for all the references that Legends of Tomorrow has made, that they have not made a reference to the biggest sci-fi show, primetime network sci-fi show of the 90s, Quantum Leap. You know, what's his name? Scott Bakula. I almost said Spock Bakula. Spock Bakula. That's his porno name. Scott Bakula actually is busy on NCIS New Orleans or NCIS Who Cares Anymore, and I guarantee you they would have paid for him. I bet you they would have paid for him to be a historical figure, and they would have worked in oh boy. You know, actually, he's probably too old now, but man, he would have been a great, like, Orville Wright, you know, inventor of the airplane. But you know who you could make him now?
Who?
Although we've seen him in the series before, and he was badly cast. Scott Bakula would have been an amazing Ulysses S. Grant.
Yes, he would have.
Like, cast him as Ulysses S. Grant. You know what? Make him Babe Ruth, even though he's not portly, or make him make him a famous baseball player. I believe Scott Bakula is a famous baseball player. Let's go.
I don't know what baseball players look like.
Make him Ty Cobb or all the other ones. You know, the one that slept with Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Monroe.
I like that universe better.
Oh my God, that is a much better universe. But yes, Legends of Tomorrow. They can't rescue Scott Bakula because the rights to Quantum Leap are actually...
I bet that's a cheap franchise to buy.
Actually, I learned recently that the rights to Quantum Leap were split 50-50 in a divorce because apparently a couple worked on it, and now there's no chance in hell that Quantum Leap can ever come back.
Oh, wow.
Because 50% is over here, 50%. And apparently studios have tried, NBC has tried, and one party will say yes, the other one will say no.
Just out of spite.
And one party will say yes, and the other party will say no. They've tried to reboot it several times, apparently, and they've never got both sides to say yes. So I think Quantum Leap is dead as doornails.
So Sam Beckett will always be lost?
Sam Beckett will always be lost. Spoilers for 1994.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's Quantum Leap recap.
Tear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really sad about that.
I am,
it's okay.
Boy.
Jennifer McMahon understands.
Who is this?
Jennifer McMahon.
Jennifer McMahon.
That's her comment.
I'll watch Quantum Leap with you anytime. She won't watch Quantum Leap. I'll watch Quantum Leap with you anytime. So, there's an 85% chance, Sam, that we have bored the hell out of the watchers of this video. All right. Don't forget we have a mailing address as well. It's blinking on the screen right now. But forget about that. Go down to the comments right now. Click that subscribe button. Leave us questions for next week's DC TV review. We're probably going to keep doing more predictions, Legends of Tomorrow maybe. And Ashley, what else should they do?
For more exclusive geeky content, you should check out patreon.com/Jawiin. Come be a super friend and join us in the Hall of Justice.
And stay tuned for a Quantum Leap complete series review video. That'll never happen.